Well, the European political awakening is well and truly underway. Right-wing populist leaders are on the rise, and the European Union election results just 2 weeks ago proved once and for all that Europeans are now turning their backs on the globalist far left that have had such a strong grip on power in Europe over the past 10 years. Nowhere was this political shift more evident than what we have seen in France. Marine Le Pen's National Rally Party defeated Emmanuel Macron so badly in the European Union elections that within hours, he dissolved parliament and called a snap parliamentary election. Now, to say that public opinion in Marine Le Pen's favor is one-sided would be a major understatement. By early July, the final round of voting will begin in France's parliamentary elections, and as it stands right now, a 28-year-old conservative social media influencer, Jordan Bardella, is set to become the next Prime Minister of France. Well, joining us now on the show to help explain this incredible political shift taking place in France is political activist and leader of the Patriot Network, Enzo Alias. Enzo, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much, Harrison, for the invitation. I'm really glad to be there with you.
Amazing. So, obviously, the French are well in their way of the general election. It is started, and we're seeing a major shift happen in your country, with Marine Le Pen dominating in the polls after a dominant EU election victory for the National Rally Party. Take us through what exactly went wrong for Emmanuel Macron, because the polls tell us that he is destined for a major defeat.
Yeah, so it's true we win a large victory at the European election with 32%, so it's a large victory, and the Macron party made 14%, so we make more than the double. So we are really happy about that. And just after that, few hours after the results, Macron say he want to dissolve the National Assembly. So like Marine Le Pen asked for. So we are really glad about that. So now we have a new legislative election in 3 weeks, and the polls are really good for us because they said we will be between 32 to 33%. And we also made an alliance with Les Républicains, is a right party. So it's the first time I think a big party is ready to make an alliance with the National Rally. So this is also really good. And with this party we can make a right coalition, and we also have Dupont-Aignan from Debout la France. So now we are three parties in this coalition, and the Macron party is really afraid about that because also the left make a big coalition, and this coalition with Mélenchon and extremist left people in the polls are between 27 to 20%. So we are the first, after we have the left coalition, and after we have Macron. So Macron will be really a minority. He will have a minority in the French National Assembly, so he's really afraid about that. And I think the people now know the Macron policy, and is also for that they vote for Marine Le Pen, Jordan Bardella. And if we win this election, so it means the president, so just to for the whole viewer, Jordan Bardella is now the president of the National Rally, and Marine Le Pen is the president of the group in the National Assembly. But she will be also the candidate for the presidential election. So she still leads the party, but Jordan Bardella is a new generation, is really young, he have 28 years old, is the president, and if we win this election, he will be prime minister. So we will have a cohabitation government, and it was happening but 30 years ago, so it was really old, and I hope Jordan Bardella will be prime minister. Like this we can make new law to protect our sovereignty, our identity, our economy, because now we are in really bad situation, to be honest, about economy, about insecurity, about immigration. France be worse and worse. We also see many tourists who come in Paris, and it's terrible. It's terrible because the people robbed the bags. Also, we have many raped. So it's the situation is worse and worse. So
Right.
I'm really happy about this situation, and I hope in two weeks, because now is in 2 weeks, we will win this legislative election.
So you touched on some of the issues that are driving this election and driving this change toward the right in France, but I want to just get into more of those details. What are the driving issues? What are the issues that the French people are most concerned about right now that have triggered such a major shift in your country's politics?
Yeah, so the three most important points are firstly economy, second insecurity, and third immigration. But also insecurity and immigration are the same point. Because, for example, in Paris we have 75% of insecurity is committed by migrants. 75%, so is huge. And also, if you go in the French jail, you have almost 30% are foreigner. So we don't have any place, many place in jail, because the jail are full, are totally full. So now we have the Macron government. If you want to go in jail in France, maybe you have to be arrested 5 times, 6 times to go in jail. Or you don't go in jail. You stay at home. You have to stay in your home, but you don't go in jail because we don't have place in jail. So it's crazy situation. Yes. So about the economy is really a worse situation, because, for example, in France we have the nuclear factory, so we can produce electricity with a really good price, but we are in the electricity market, so we have to follow Germany. We have to, and they don't use anymore nuclear, so the price now is a double. I think 2 years ago I paid my bill maybe $70 per month, and now I pay 160 per month, because the price is growing, and the government don't do anything about that. So we want to leave this electricity market, to have more money. Also, we can make a lot of economy of the immigration. Also about the inflation, for the tax, because we have many company who go in Romania or go in other country to make illegal concurrence, because in Europe you can put your factory in other country in the European continents, and you pay low tax. So we have, for example, in the building market, we have some company from Poland, from other country. They pay their worker maybe 400 per month, but in France the minimum salary is 1,300. So it's impossible to work in this system. The system is really bad, and we have to fix it. Also in the European parliaments, but also in the French parliaments. So that's the National Rally do. We are working in the both assembly to make France great again.
Right, and you touched on this earlier, that Jordan Bardella, the potentially the next prime minister, very likely the next prime minister of France, is a 28-year-old who has a very large TikTok following. He's very effective on social media. And this seems to be driven a lot by the mobilization of young voters across the EU elections and what we're seeing in France. Talk to me more about who this Jordan Bardella is and where he came from, and how he's been able to appeal to young French voters.
Of course. So I know well Jordan Bardella. I know him previously. He was not famous, He was just a member of the party. So I know him well. He's a really good guy. He's a really good guy, and he started from the bottom. He live in the same city of me, close to Paris, in the insecurity zone with a lot of immigration. So we know the reality. And also, he have now 20 years old. So he start from the bottom to the regional council. After, with the European Parliament, he was president for the youth with me. Also, he grew up in the party because he's a really clever guy. Is a kind guy. So obviously Marine Le Pen sees a potential in Bardella, and is for that he trusts in Bardella. So I'm really happy for him, because I think he can be prime minister, but maybe after Marine Le Pen, also maybe he will be also president of France. He has the good potential to do it, to do this work, and also when he go on the TV show to make a debate with other people, is really strong. You know, is a war machine. This guy is really good. And also, yes, for TikTok and the social media is true. Is really good for because the young people go on TikTok, on X, on Facebook to see the Bardella video, because he do a really good communication. You know, he speak about the problem for the youth. For example, he wants to push low tax for the youngs. Also, if you want to buy a house, the state will help you to make a company, etc. And we need that in France, because the people doesn't work to work for the minimum salary. So they want to build a new company, to have more company in France, but we have too much tax. For example, I have two business, I pay 55% of tax. Is incredible, and I have to pay for some people who doesn't want to work, because they have the help from the states. If you stay at home and you doesn't want to work, the state give you 600 euro, and you don't have to pay for your flats. So you can stay like this. We know many people in France, they doesn't want to work because they have to get up every morning to go to work. But if you make a simple calcul between if you have to go to work for minimum salary, or if you have to go to stay at home, and the majority of people doesn't want to work. So also I think Jordan Bella will fix that, to push everyone to go to work, because we need worker in France. It's true.
Of course, you can't just you can't just be sitting at home. It's not good for society.
Exactly.
It's a compounding problem.
Yeah.
One of the things that we've seen in Canada, at least, is that the Conservatives, they're only now just starting to attract young voters. They're only now just starting to get young people on their side. Traditionally, the Conservatives have never been successful in Canada at getting young people to vote for them and to look at the Conservatives as an option. But that's not the case, it appears, in France. It's not the case that it appears in Europe as well. European right-wing populist parties have really been successful at getting youth to vote for them and getting them on their side. How do you think they've done that? How do you think they've been so successful at doing that?
Well, I think in France you have two generations. You have the generation of European, new European generation. For example, I'm half Italian. And you have another generation from the north of Africa, like Algerian, Moroccan, Tunisian, etc. And you have one part of this generation, they hate France. They make drug traffic, they hate France. And you have a lot of story about also murder. In France, in the little town of Crépol, you have some guy from so this generation of North African go in little town to make murder, to kill white people. So I think you have two generation, and this generation are directly frontally in opposition. You have one generation patriots and they love France, etc. And you have one generation, they hate France, because it's also the fault of the national education, because at school the teacher don't learn why did you have to be proud about the French history. They said, the French have a bad story because we make colonization, we make this bad, etc. So a lot of French, young French people are not proud to be French, and I think Jordan Bardella give this hope, to say yes, you have to be proud about your country is really important, because if you are not proud to be French, you broke your hearts, because it's not good for you, it's not good for your country. So we have a lot of young people now be more patriot, be more proud, and I think is for this reason. And also, in France we have the left, the right, the left, the right for 50 years, and we know no one change because they make alliance, for legislative election. They have, some speech as a TV show, but when they do politics, they make alliance every time. So now we say, no more left, no more right. Now we vote for the National Rally because the National Rally have some, decision from the right and from the left. For example, for the economic decision, we are agreed to help true, French people who wants money. So we are not a lot of liberal, to be honest. In the National Rally, we are not liberal, ultra liberal. We are agreed to help people, but who don't take advantage to stay at home. If you are people who are working for work, but for a real situation, okay, we can help you. But if you want to take just advantage, for that is not possible. So we want to put first the priority for French people, because for the moment is not the case. For example, if you are foreigner and you come in France, you have free health, because you can go to the hospital, we pay for everything. You have free flats and free food. And this is not possible because we have a lot of homeless people in the streets. So we have to help homeless French people first, and also French people first.
Yeah. I mean, of course, that should be the priority of the government, right? To take care of its own
Exactly.
citizens first. We certainly have a lot of similarities in our country with the way the education system tries to tell Canadians to feel bad about our country. Our government peddles lies to us about what we did that didn't actually happen to make us all feel bad. These things happen, and I think, as you rightly point out, it matters. It matters to the soul of the country for people to feel proud about being where they're from. There's a lot to be proud of for the French people, like there's a lot to be proud of for the Canadian people. I want to go back to something you said about this growing population of North Africans, young North Africans in France. And I want to know, from your perspective, how much the Islamization of France has played a role in the rise of Marine Le Pen. We've seen a video that has become extremely viral on social media of Marine Le Pen just a few days ago saying that those who are connected, binationals who are connected to Islamist ideology, must be stripped of their nationality and expelled. That language wouldn't fly in Canada, but I think it's obviously found a very large and welcoming audience in France. So let's talk about how Islamization of your country has played a role in this election.
Yeah, so we have in the largest city in France, for example, I live in Marseille, so the second city in France, in the south of France. We have, obviously, I think we have 33% of Muslim population. And I can say that because at school, we know who don't go at school for the Eid feast, so it's a Muslim feast. Right. So we know we have 33% of Muslim people. And in France, I think, yes, it's probably the same thing. Because you have also people get the national identity. So the people say, so they are no more stranger, but we know we have 33% of Muslim in France. And we have some statistic is very dangerous because 50% of the young Muslim put the Sharia law before the French law. So this is really dangerous. It's really dangerous. We have also the Muslim brother in France, and they are open, many new Muslim school to put the Sharia first for the children. We have many journalists are doing great job to check this school, etc. And we know we have a lot of Islamic people, and it's also for that we have a lot of attentat in France. Like in Nice, like in Bataclan, etc. We have a lot of terrorists, right. And also the police is making a really great job, because if you have to look, maybe 15, we think, in France we have the name is Fichier S, so is like advertise. They put like a card of people they said is a dangerous guy. And in France, we have 50,000 people like this. So the police every day are checking the phone, the computer to make sure they don't do attentat. But it's really, really, yes, it's really dangerous. And also, you have a lot of people like this. They stay in jail only for 4 years, 5 years, and after when they go in the streets, they commit another attentat. So it's really difficult because also the French law don't do the job. For example, if you kill someone in France, maybe you go the maximum time you can go in jail is like 25 years is a maximum. You cannot go more. So the French law don't protect the French population. And about Islamization, yes, we know is terrific because in the big city you have some quarter is only Muslim. Only Muslim. If you go to buy some meats, is only halal meats. And if you have also a big fast food factory, now they are only halal because they know the market. They know the French, also the Christian people can buy the halal meats, so they prefer to put halal meat. And in some restaurants, they don't put is halal meat. They don't say. Yeah. So you eat halal meat, but you don't know. And we have to know the halal meat also is a business because they get the money from the halal meat to build some new mosque, etc. Wow. So yeah, the situation now is really difficult in France because also they are French people. This type of people are French, so you cannot take them to say you have to turn back in your country because they are French people. Right. But in the herd,
why would any French government do this to their country? I mean, it's such a celebrated country with so much history and such an important country in the world, and one that you would think that leaders over the past 20, 30 years would want to preserve. Why would any government do this to France? I just don't understand why they would allow this to happen.
Because they are not patriots. It's really simple. They have leftist mind. So they think is the duty of France to open the gate and to say to the world, welcome in France. We can take the whole poverty of the world. We can take all Africa in France because we are happy. Also, they said the French people doesn't make enough baby, so we have to take immigration to work in the restaurant, to work to cleaning, etc. So they also see this type of population like a slave. Because they need, we need them to wash my car, to wash my home, etc. So I think we have to put a baby encouragements to say, so the French population have to make more babies and we can help the family to do this. This is the good option. And also when we see the situation in Japan, what they do, if the family don't do children, so they take some robot, the robot do the job because you have to protect your identity. If you come in France for vacation, it's because you want to meet and to know the French true population. But if you have, whole African country in France, so it don't make any difference about the identity. So I'm not agree with that. And also you have a lot of people say, it's the duty of France to take people from everywhere. But it's not the truth. It's not the truth. When I travel to Africa, is to meet African people. So of course they have some problems, and if we can help them, we can fix it. But we have first to think about the French population.
Absolutely. And the last question I have for you is what will Marine Le Pen, if she becomes president in the future after Jordan Bardella and the National Rally dominate in the parliamentary elections? What would a National Rally government do with immigration? Are they going to shut down the borders to these African countries and control the spread of basically a very anti-French culture?
Well, I think it's really, really simple. You have just to put down the financially help because if they cannot get money, they will not come. It's really simple. Also, you can close the border, to control who comes or do not come. And in France, we have some people, they have the obligation to leave the territory. And the French government take only 3% of this population to get back in the country. Because, for example, if we have many Algerian people, they have to go back to Algeria. The Algerian government doesn't accept this. They say, no. We don't know them. We don't want them, but they are Algerian. So you have to be also strong. If they say that, you said, okay, so if you don't want to take your population back, we stop to help you to build maybe this subway or this sport, etc. So we have to be strong with the other country. And so Marine Le Pen, yes, will fix the immigration problem. She will stop the philanthropy help. She will close the border. She will take illegal immigrants to take back in the country. And also, if you want to come in France from some war reason, you have to ask the authorization in the consulate or in the French assembly, but in your country. You don't have to come and after to help don't ask for help. You have to ask for help in your country directly.
And Enzo, before I let you go, talk to us about the work you're doing with Patriot Network. If Canadians want to learn more about your organization and how they can interact with them, what exactly is Patriot Network and how can they interact?
Yeah, so Patriot Network is a new ONG, political ONG. So we already are in 40 countries. So we are building a worldwide patriot connection. Like this, a political party can know them easily. So we also organize some events. The next event will be the 22 November in Salvador, because we really are happy about the Bukele works. He fixed the drug traffic, he fixed everything, and the Salvador is now growing up. So we do events, and also we are working to make a new media, to put some political news, the truth of political news with a whole coordinator. So we are working on, and we will do a lot of events also in Canada next year.
Amazing. Enzo Alias, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for the invitation, and see you soon. Thank you, Harrison.